Hey, Two-Ton here. I am excited about this new podcast. Welcome to Two-Ton's Journey. I did a 5-part podcast a while back, and it got pretty good response. I was surprised to see downloads in at least 20 countries. Albania, Argentina, Laos, Cambodia, Nigeria, UK, of course in the United States. It was crazy. So, let me tell you what this new podcast is going to be about. I'm excited. It's all about my journey, where I've been. Just as a recap, or if you're new, I am morbidly obese, but I was a lot bigger at one time. I was 550 at my heaviest. I've had weight issues my entire life, and everything kind of came to a crash back in 2022 when I had congestive heart failure. I was in the hospital for 12 days and almost died. Wasn't until I was out of the hospital for a while that I realized how close I came. My wife and kids were put through quite an ordeal that I just didn't realize how big of a deal it was. But it was my wake-up call. That's what gave me the epiphany. It's like at that moment when I realized it was like, you're gonna die. And I didn't want that to happen. So that's when I started my weight loss back then. I dropped, well, first off, in the hospital, they took like 50 pounds of fluid out of my chest. It was crazy. But altogether, I've dropped about 50 pounds a year for the last couple of years. And I got my weight down from at the time of the hospital, it was about 520. When I got out of the hospital, I was like 470, 70-ish, something like that. And then up to last year, I got my weight down to 398. It was so exciting to get down under 400. And then, unfortunately, my mother passed away. And that kind of, it kind of put me in a slump for a while. I didn't gain back a lot of weight. I gained about 30 pounds back, which isn't incredible. But it took me months and months and months, and we're almost a year with her gone. But it took me until only a month or two ago to really kind of get it back on track. So a good 8 or 9 months of just kind of like this, I wasn't in the mood to do videos. I was watching what I was eating, but I wasn't like hardcore, like in the groove, but I am now. I'm back. I found that after she passed away, and she and my dad have 6 kids. I have 5 siblings. It was an unexpected passing. It kind of hit us hard, and I think our family honored her legacy with grace and love and respect, and I will never forget my mother. She taught me so much in life, and she was a great mom. I can't complain, and I know now she's at peace with God, and that warms my heart. And she's free of pain, and that's the big thing. And I do believe in God. I pray, not as often as I should, but I think my weight loss journey is in God's hands right now, and that's what this new Two-Tons Journey podcast is going to be about. It's about where I am, where I'm heading, and what I'm doing on a weekly basis, like in a real-time thing. So I'm just going to keep people up to date on how the journey's going. Now, my original podcast was like a 5-part series. It's called Two-Tons Epiphany, and I did like a small introduction video, and then I had 5 episodes. Catalyst, Repercussions, Close Call, Epiphany, and Resolve. So each one of those talked about a particular reason or part of why I gained all the weight I had and got up to my highest weight. Um, Catalyst, of course, is my childhood, um, things that happened to me as a kid, and just how I didn't eat well. I was a fat kid. I was bullied, and I had some trauma in my childhood, and then repercussions. Dealt with what happened after that, and how even years later I didn't realize how much of a catalyst that was. And then Close Call talks about my heart failure and how um, when you get that moment in your life where it's like it's like fucking smack in the face, like wake up. I mean, had a little bit of a System of a Down moment there. It's like wake up, you're eating too much and you're fat. Wake up. So that was my close call. And then Epiphany was episode 4, and that's where I kind of embraced this idea. Whoa, I need to stop. I need to focus. I need to get this weight off because I want to be around. And then Resolve is talks about my future, my goals. So it was a 5-part kind of series, and it went over pretty well. I'm certainly not an international sensation, but I was really excited to see I got downloads from people in at least 20 countries. It was incredible, and that was kind of surprising to me. So here's what we're going to do today. Um, I'm just going to talk about what these podcasts are going to be about, and then I'm going to try and download them and get them in on Tuesdays. Depending on the week, I might drop it on a Wednesday, but um, I'm trying to do things kind of structured now. So my weigh-ins are on Friday. You can see them on my social media. Um, my last weigh-in, I was at 406 and change because I didn't start losing that 30 pounds until about a month or so ago, maybe 2 months. So I'm getting back down to that 398, and that's what the journey's about. It's not really about the number. It's about where you were, where you are, and where you're going. That's what makes the journey. Because, like Tony Stark says, every journey has the end. The end of my journey will be my goal weight. But that doesn't mean that it stops there. I have to maintain that weight once I get there. Now, my goal weight is, it's a funny number, 219. And why did I come up with that number? Because, first off, it's like that psychological pricing thing they do in stores where 199 seems cheaper than $2. 219 sounds better than 220. So that's my that's my thinking there. So I thought, oh, 219 is good because I'm not very tall, but I'm stocky. And when I was thin, um, I carried my weight really well. So I can't be at my age and my size like 180 pounds. That's not going to happen. So I'm thinking 219, 220, that's a perfect size. Hopefully, while I lose the weight, I can bulk up some muscle. Um, I do my exercise videos, and basically I'm just burning calories and trying to keep moving. I have really bad knees. I have arthritis, and I'm 53 years old, so I'm no spring chicken. But the more weight I get off, the more weight I get off, the stronger I'll get, and hopefully I can start putting some definition back into my body. Um, I'd love to be able to eventually run and jog. Um, we'll see what happens. Plus as the weight comes off, the arthritis will get better. Um, I hope in the next like 5 or 10 years I don't need like knee surgery or knee replacement because that would really suck. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on. Gotta have my coffee. Ooh, coffee's good. You know what's funny? I never drank coffee until I was like driving a truck over the road. I was like in my 30s. Um, and there was a lot of food I didn't touch or eat until I was older too. Uh, Strawberries, Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes. I was all over the age of 35 when I tried those for the first time. I'm not a big fan of yogurt, but I recently started eating cottage cheese first time. See, look at 53 years old. Um, I've been putting cottage cheese in my scrambled eggs for like a protein packed breakfast. Doesn't really have a flavor. Like all these years, I thought it was like this snotty, shitty mucus pus kind of cheese, and it's not. So I give props to my wife who says it's not that bad, and she's right. I was wrong and she was right. So that's one of the things on the journey. Try new things, try new foods. Um, I'm basically doing uh, intermittent fasting and keto. This month is going to be like a 30-day plan. Um, I'm doing some uh, I'm doing some OMADs, one meal a day, and within the keto and fasting, we're also going to put in. I'm going to do my first ever like 3-day water fast for like a body reset. Um, from 550 to 220 is 330 pounds. So half of 330 is about 165, and at my most weight off at the time was 152. So in my mind, I'm about halfway. So I'm doing new things. I'm trying new things because everything's kind of worked up to now, but it's slowed. And it wasn't just with my mother passing. It's just things have slowed down. I need to reset my body. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Um, I only had one meal yesterday, and today I'm going to do another one meal day, and then I'll go back to the intermittent fasting for the rest of the week, and the 3-day fast will be next week because I got to kind of build my body up to that. Um, I'm not going to lie, it's going to fucking suck to not be able to have cream in my coffee. That's one of my pleasures. I stopped putting sugar in my coffee like 5 years ago, and I haven't had sugar in my coffee in 5 years. That is an accomplishment for me. So 3 days with uh, with just the water. I'm sure I'm going to drop a couple of pounds, but at the same time, it's like the greatest sin. I'm more I'm more upset about not having cream in my coffee than I am actually not eating. Isn't that's weird? So I'm a coffee fiend. I love coffee. So anyway, um, yeah. So the podcast is doing well. The weight's coming off again. Um, I'm back mentally where I need to be for this journey. I grieved my mother's loss. Um, I don't feel like emotionally her passing is now in any way, shape, or form adversely affecting my weight loss anymore. I feel I'm past that as far as the journey is concerned. So um, I, right beyond where you can see this camera here, I'm looking at a picture of her. Every time I sit at this desk here in the command center, I picture my mother here, and she watches me. So I know she's here with me and she's guiding me just as much as God is. So today's Tuesday, July 21st, 2026. It's about 9 a.m. Um, I'm going over just looking at the descriptions of the previous podcast, and um, I've got I've got some things lined up in the next couple of episodes. Uh, I'm going to drop some like keto recipes, some Mediterranean dishes. Um, we eat a lot of like protein, fish, pork, chicken. Uh, Not really doing anything high carb or high sugar. No sugar at all, really added. Um, we don't do fast food. I mean, I've given up a lot of that crap. I I have an occasional soda. By occasional, I mean like maybe once a month. If I'm being honest, maybe twice a month. I used to drink like a 2 liter a day back in the day. Even when I was a truck driver years ago and I was working and I was skinny, I used to drink a ton of soda, but I don't really drink soda anymore. So, um, God, oh, my favorite food is like Chinese food. Oh my God. Oh, God. If somebody told me what are three foods you could eat all day, every day, and never gain a pound from them, Chinese would be at the top of the list. Egg foo young, lo mein, the fucking crispy ass shrimp egg rolls. I mean, I get a double nip chubby every time I try and think about like an egg roll. I love Chinese food. My second favorite kind of food is Italian. Um, I love eggplant parm, baked ziti, uh, manicotti, stuffed shells, anything with cheese and sauce and meat. I love that shit. I love pasta, but you can't. It's just sugar and carbs, and it just fills you up, and at the same time, it stays in you, and it gives you. Pasta is one of the worst things you can eat, especially modern day pasta. That's not like it used to be with all the fucking crap in it. Don't even get me started on how fucked our food supply is. Thanks to never mind. I'm not getting into that. But anyway, so uh, what I want to talk about today is the fasting thing that I'm doing. Um, when I the way my body is, uh, if I have a certain type of food, I could eat. You could eat a pound of food, but it could make you gain 2 pounds, and that's from inflammation and swelling. When I eat bread, or if I have anything starchy like potatoes or pasta or pizza or something like that, I swell. I get that water gain, and I had I had one time a while back where I was in the fasting, and we went out to dinner for a birthday dinner for one of my nieces, and it was Chinese. We went to this Chinese restaurant, and I had shrimp lo mein with some rice and some soup, and you know how the Chinese food is. The shit just blows you up like a fucking balloon. I literally put like 3 pounds on by the next morning. I got on the scale and I was like, fuck me. I mean, I knew it was from inflammation, but you know, you, it's okay to have a cheat meal once in a while, but like I said, you can't really focus on the number because you're not putting pounds back on. It's temporary inflammation. So each time that happens, you kind of have to just take it in stride and get your ass back on track. Um, you know, what the fasting can do for me at this point, especially the 3 day fast, is give my body like a reset. I recently had lab work done, and my doctor confirmed that I'm basically the healthiest fat guy he's ever seen. My sugar's good. I'm not pre-diabetic, or I don't even have diabetes. My liver's good. My liver function, kidneys. Did all the lipid panels, everything. My blood pressure was fantastic, um, which surprises me because my size, my blood pressure goes up just because of the extra like exertion that I put out having this extra weight. So lab work was really good, and that was exciting for me. So it helps me go forward. I'm on thyroid medicine. I've been on thyroid medicine for years, and I'm also on furosemide for my fluid in my chest. Um, so my medications haven't changed, and everything's pretty good. So uh, this 3 day fast that I'm going to do next week, um, I'm a little scared because I've never done that before. But it's not like a fear thing. It's more like, I'm afraid I'm gonna, just cave because I'm weak as fuck. Uh, but I think I can do it. I think I have the mind for it right now. So we're probably going to do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Um, I did one meal yesterday. Today's one meal again. Tomorrow we'll have two, and then through the rest of the week, I'm going to do back and forth between the one meal and two meals. Um, it's all going to be keto, and I got some salads I can make, and I think uh, I think this 3 day fast is going to do something good for me. And then, by the way, I talked to my doctors and I suggested to them what I wanted to do. And my cardiologist and my primary care physician, they both said that's good. Just keep an eye on what you're doing. Don't overdo it. They said you're in a good position right now to do those things, especially with my lab work. So, um, so I'm excited, man. We'll see if I can really kind of kickstart and drop a couple more pounds from these fasts and just kind of get my body into a more efficient machine where the next phase of this, the next 150 pounds, I can really kind of get the ball rolling. I've never been more determined in my life. It's been a really good like 4 weeks so far, and I'm excited. I'm excited about the podcast, the weight loss. I'm being in ultra positive mood, and I cannot tell you the power of positivity is something I never really dwelled on. Um, but recently, my beautiful wife, Patty, she's always told me you got to stay positive. Negative energy drags you down. And I'm really starting to believe that. Um, excuse me. I am my worst critic, always have been. Um, I am a genius at self deprecating humor, but at the same time, it's probably my greatest downfall is I always drag on myself. That's a defense mechanism to keep people from dragging on me first. But you know what? I try to do it with some comedy, so in my mind, psychologically, it's acceptable, or it's uh, it's more funny to me. And am I funny? I don't know. Some people think I am. I try to be. I do like to entertain sometimes. I like telling jokes and being a class clown and that kind of shit. So um, I guess I guess I'm rambling at this point. So anyway, yeah, fasting. I'm looking forward to this like kickstart and kind of change the way my body processes food and nutrients. Um, and I'm really looking forward to this. So um, the this episode today will be the first one of TwoTon's journey. Um, and I hope you guys will like and share and keep track and follow along. Like I said, I'm going to try and drop these on Tuesdays and the weigh-ins on Fridays. And I'm really, really looking forward to getting everything back to where I'm going to start losing weight on a large scale again, because that would be fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and call it for this. It'll be the first inaugural episode. Hold on. There you go. Cheesy as fuck, but I love it. So anyway, that's about it. Let's get the hell out of here and say congratulations to the inaugural first TwoTon's Journey episode. And I hope to see you next time. Peace. Thanks for watching.